I'm going to prop up my
Okay,
phone
awesome.
so I don't fall over.
Yes, no falling over.
I got a Bible and some journals, so they're going to help me keep the phone up. There
Oh,
we
good,
go.
good. You should be good to go.
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome. Gallery view. Drag and drop. Lindsay, how did you tell me to do the speaker view again, like with the shared?
There should be a button on the upper right with a little gallery view or just different ways to view your video.
Yeah, I had speaker view or gallery view.
Yeah, you should be able to hit the gallery view.
The which one? Sorry, it cut.
Gallery view. You should be able to hit that.
Gallery view. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it shows everybody. So can I make it so that it's just me and you?
It is hard to do when I am not sitting, when I cannot see the
I
screen
know.
whatsoever. I suppose take turns seeing which one works.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do speaker view, and then we can just, between the two of us, we'll just be the one talking when we're talking. Okay, so we'll do that then. Okay, I'm so excited to be here this afternoon. I know it's Friday afternoon. I know that some of the ladies on the call are in Eastern Standard Time. Some are in Mountain Time. Some are in... So as far as I know, I'm looking at the girls that I know here. So first of all, thanks for coming here on Friday afternoon and joining us. And I'm so excited. Lindsay, thank you so much for accepting to be to be my guest speaker this month. I'm extremely excited, and I'm more excited about the fact that we're going to talk about something that is on everybody's mind, and on how to attract and our ideal clients and turn them into buyers. Wow. Let me have a sip.
Well, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm excited to be here.
Oh, good, good. So first, I'm going to take a few minutes to introduce Lindsay. I met Lindsay a couple of years ago, and I've known her, and I actually found Lindsay on Pinterest. I joined a challenge that she was doing, and that's kind of how I got into her world. And I joined her course at the time, and her program. And then I hired Lindsay to work one-on-one, and then I joined her signature program. And then I hired Lindsay to be my one-on-one coach again. So I've been in Lindsay's world for over the last year, and we've become really good friends throughout the process. And I'm just extremely grateful to have you on this journey of building my business. So I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about Lindsay. And so Lindsay is a mom of 3. She's a wife. She has a 9-to-5 job, and she has her business, and she recently homeschools her children. So Lindsay keeps very busy, but she's managed to bring her business to 6 figures, doing all of this by keeping things extremely simple and just scaling her business. So I'm extremely blessed to have you on the call today and talk to us about this amazing, exciting, important topic. So what I thought we could do today, I thought we could have sort of like just a kind of conversation about it. And I've marked down some questions that I'm gonna ask you, and we could just kind of have a conversation about it in this workshop, if that works for you.
Yeah, it sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Julie. It's been a pleasure watching you grow. So thank you.
You're welcome. So I know that before we get into the nitty-gritty of attracting our clients, that Lindsay, I know that you're big on mindset. And so I wanted to touch base on that first before we get into even thinking about attracting our clients. So can you give us some tips on what's important, like the first thing we should really do and work on before even thinking about attracting our ideal clients?
Well, I always ignored this for one because it was always the most boring thing that I could do. It didn't involve me sitting in front of my computer and working, which I love to work. I think I just was brought up that way to the I was brought up on a farm, and so when I saw my dad, going out and doing all this, I knew he was helping our family and he was, putting in the action to because if the farm doesn't run unless dad does, right? So I had that built in my head. It has served me well, but it also has not served me well. So when I realized that I am not a farmer, I am running a business, I don't need to be sitting here all of the time in order to push things forward. I knew that I had to make a big mindset shift. And that topic was like way on the back burner because it wasn't fun for me to think about. And it was like, well, I have a good attitude. Isn't that what mindset is? And it's not. Mindset is, if you really do the deep work, it's finding out why you feel like you have some blocks in your business. So, for example, if you feel like you've done everything to get your business started and you're hitting a roadblock or you're hitting a wall, all of those sayings that people come up with, that means you do actually have a block. Oh yeah, my computer turned on. But if you this happens every single level that you will go on in your business. It's not like, oh phew, I went over that roadblock, I'm good. You're always going to come up with them. So if you don't have a strong support system within mindset, then every single level that you manage to get into, it's going to be really difficult for you to keep moving forward. Mindset is thinking positive. Mindset is believing that you're always being taken care of. Mindset is knowing that whatever is going to happen for you is meant to happen for you. I know that's sometimes a really crappy thing to hear, but it is true. There's a lesson in everything, and there's feedback with everything that we do. So I don't stress out about my business. I never have. I just really believe that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then, I feel like, God's not going to lead me down a crappy road. He's going to lead me down a really good one. Even if there's tech issues and all of those things, I know that I will be able to show up in the best way that I can every single day.
Amazing. And I think that sometimes it's also something that we resist, right? Or sometimes we think, well, I don't have a mindset issue, but then we find ourselves in still having these roadblocks, or our business is not really moving forward or anything like that until we really stop resisting and accept that, okay, maybe there is a mindset thing there that I can actually work on and work through, and to get to that next step and level that I want to get to. So I think that all of us at some point in time may have, or are maybe still resisting the mindset work, but it's so important. And it's not just at the beginning of your journey, it's throughout your journey all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we need to get good at. It's a skill that we need to build and get good at always having, because we have to, hone in on that mindset all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. I think your biggest to know if you have a mindset block is to look at your attitude towards it. If you are like, I'm not doing that, I don't need that, then you need some work. I've had students who will join my program and who will message me because they're upset that there's so much mindset work at the beginning. And I think, well, you obviously need to go and do that then, because
Yeah.
you shouldn't be mad, because I want your mind to be better.
Mm-hmm. I know. I know. It's so important. And it's like, it's the first thing we should do, and always check in on our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question I have for you is that I want to talk a bit about ideal clients. And ideal clients is another component of our business that I resisted so many times for so long. Finding my ideal client, I was like in the mindset that I didn't want to leave anybody out, and I didn't want to forget anybody. And sometimes it can be tricky too at the beginning of in your business, or even mid business, or if you hit a fork in the road and you're kind of maybe changing direction, and you have that FOMO of like missing out on that
Mm-hmm.
audience, or that's like you, so you stay and keep broad. I know that for me in the beginning of my stock photography journey, I also did this. I was like, well, I don't know who my ideal client, and really,
Mm-hmm.
do I need one? Because I can market to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to talk to us about on this topic?
Well, I used to think that I could help everyone too, and God bless you if you think that. I think that's why entrepreneurs are so amazing, because they really do want to help everybody, but nobody has the capacity to do that. And I always say, you're not Walmart. You don't have to price yourself so low, and so everyone wants to work with you. You will have the most miserable business if you are working with people who are so wrong for you. It's just like a relationship. You're not going to, I mean, I haven't dated in, 17 years, but I picked the bottom of the pile. And I think that, it goes with like relationships. You're not going to date everybody, cause you're not going to have a high quality life. If you're picky and like, I really connect with this person, whether it's a relationship or client wise, then you won't dread going on a Zoom call. You won't dread looking at feedback or anything like that, because they're in your niche. And like somebody had just commented in the chat, the riches are in the niches, because they are. And at first, I think we all make that mistake, because we don't even know, when we put our foot in the water, we don't even really know how this is going to even be. So we got to start somewhere, right? So wherever you're starting, it's just fine. Just know that you are going to evolve, and it's just picture like a funnel. You're going to start out, wider, and then it's going to get narrower as you go down. So I started out saying I help women start their online business when I first started. Well, I can't help everyone start an online business. That's insane. There's no direction to that. What do you mean? So I was getting clients that wanted to do all sorts of things, and I couldn't help everybody at a higher level like I can now. And I remember when it first came to me, I should just help coaches because I'm a coach, right? And then why was that so hard to figure out? It's the easiest solution. So think about you 3 to 5 years ago. Who were you? What were you struggling with? That's the person you should be helping.
Yes, and it's also like what I've learned in this last couple of years of, I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years because I was a photographer, but the last couple of years I've really learned how important it is to really sit down and think about who your ideal client, because also not only that, when you know who your ideal client is, you're just going to attract more of them, and you're going to attract the right people for your business, the people who are going to buy from you and who are going to become part of your tribe and your community and everything. So it's that one thing we resist, but so important, like the mindset work. Okay, such a great answer. I love that. Okay, once we figured out who our tribe is, what are the next steps we should take to start attracting them? I know you're a huge advocate for building your email list, and I kind of wish someone told me to do that years ago.
Yes. Yes, Julie, remember when we first started? That's
Yes.
when we got everything rolling. So before you even get your email list going, you have to know how you're going to communicate with these people first. So I always want my clients to start out with some kind of a content medium. Are you going to be blogging? Are you going to be podcasting? Are you going to do video? And 90% of the time, everyone wants to start out with blogging. And because that seems like the easiest thing, they can just sit down and write. And a lot of times entrepreneurs are, they love to write. So that is probably the go-to. And then they'll probably evolve to either a podcast or video, but I see mostly it's podcasting, because you don't have to worry. Like for me, I like podcasting because if I do it on a Sunday morning, maybe that's the day that I don't wash my hair, and I can just throw it in a ponytail and sit behind my microphone. Maybe that's the only time that it is quiet with all these kids running around all of the time. So you have to pick something that you're going to enjoy, and then look and see, does this align with the life that I have too? I don't want to create a YouTube channel where I'm creating, videos where people follow me around all day. Number one, I don't want my kids on video. Number two, that's not the life I want to lead. So you have to really pick what aligns with you, how you want to be portrayed, the lifestyle that you have. And also your clients are going to look at your lifestyle too and say, that's something that I want. And if she can do it, that means I can too. So having a content medium that can work for you for at least a year or more is going to be really important. And then you start out with, building the foundation of your business, getting all those things in place, your website, your email list, your social media platforms, all of those things. It's very humbling to work with clients who are just starting. I'm working with a few right now who are starting with nothing, and they're just soaring every single week, the milestones that they hit. But it's so humbling to see all the stuff you have to do to get started. And I think, oh my gosh, it's so much, but they just keep plowing through it because they want it so bad, and it's so good for them to have that pathway to follow. And it's just, crossing one thing off one day at a time.
I know, and we have to go just one day at a time, right? That's all we can really do. I think that, for all of us, it's so much work in the beginning, but it's so rewarding once we start seeing the results. How often would you say that creating content on whatever platform we choose, how much or how little should we be starting with, or, continuing with, or what kind of tips can you give us about that?
Sure. So pick something that you can be consistent with. I remember years ago, I used to blog every single day, and there's just no way I could do that. But back then, we didn't have Instagram, and we didn't really have Facebook groups or anything like that. So that was that was like my daily thing that I did, just like you do on Instagram, right? And that was not sustainable. So when I switched from daily, went to weekly. I think weekly is a great strategy, because you're not too much for your subscribers. You're not too much for the people who have to read all of your work or even listen. And you might want to just go big right away, but think twice about it before you're like, I'm going to podcast every day. Well, there's more to it than just sitting behind a microphone and talking, or even writing a blog post. There's images and there's links and there's so much. Once a week, I think, is perfect, and it's easy. And I think it keeps you relevant on Google. It keeps you relevant in the people who follow you. I think that is like the safest number.
Yes, you're right. And I also resist that part of it, but I'm discovering what I do like to do, and I'm going to focus on that. So, if it's important to remember that we don't all have to blog. It doesn't have to be blogging. It could be YouTube videos of like 1 to 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, you just showing up live on your Instagram
Mm-hmm.
feed. It can be like, so whatever you choose, there's no right or wrong. It's just being consistent with it, right? And by creating the content, then we can use that and we can share it on various platforms, whether it be Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, or whichever, to start attracting our audience and adding them to our list and our community. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
now that
exactly. Everything that we do should ultimately result in that end goal.
Exactly. Okay, so now we've started building our list. What are some ways that we can, so how can we plan quality content that our ideal clients are going to be attracted to? So what tips can you give us about creating content for that person?
Sure. If this doesn't come easy for you, if you struggle with writer's block and you're sitting there with your hands over your keyboard, there are just some easy ways you can find out what they're looking for. My go-to is Pinterest. So know what your client is searching for on Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. Go there. So for me, if I want to create a podcast episode or I want to create a freebie, I'm going to go to Pinterest. I'm going to type in, something like book clients or get clients, grow your coaching business, online coaching, stuff like that. You can look at those top, 5 or 6 different keyword phrases, get some ideas from there, and then dive into the pins and see, what's out there and get inspired by, the images and the content inside. Obviously, don't copy, put your own twist on it and make it better. That is my favorite way. There's other ways like the Uber Suggest. I know a lot of people love that. And Answer the Public is probably my second favorite because it's so visual, and it definitely beats the Google Keyword Planner. But then don't discount your list. Ask them what they want to hear about. Go and ask your Facebook group, ask your Instagram, take a poll on your stories. There's a lot of people that you can get great insight from if you just think about all of your assets that you have, write them all down and think, well, I can just ask everyone, and then, keep track of what's most popular and then go with it if it feels right for you.
Yes, I love that, and it's such good. It's such a good tip. And you know what? One thing that I do is I have a Facebook group, so I utilize that to grow the list of struggles that people are going through. So for me, I like tapping into the pain points of my ideal clients. And when anybody wants to join my Facebook group, I ask them, what is the number one struggle that you have right now or that you're currently dealing
Mhm.
with? And this is the reason why I came up with this live workshop today, because of like a lot of people were struggling with finding that client and turning them into buyers. So here's
Hmm.
another way that we can also tap into how to find good quality content for our ideal clients. So I love that. Thank you, Lindsay. And so when I first posted in the group that we were going to have this workshop today, there wasn't too many questions, but there was one question from a lady, and I thought that it was a really good question. So she asked, so what if we have, okay, so what if we have no problems getting the leads, but
Mhm.
closing them seems to be the challenge? So her question specifically, or her comment, was that she has no problems with potential clients. She handpicks 75% of them, but convincing them to value their health is the issue. So I'm assuming that this person is a health coach perhaps, or something like that. So I
Mhm.
think that maybe the closing part is the component that we're wondering about here.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that will, number one, you have no control whether a client works with you or not, period. It doesn't matter what kind of business you have. So you have to let go of that. And I think that when we are using that as my business isn't successful because of someone else, that's not true. And what do you know to be true? That you have full control over what you think. And that is what you need to just hold on to. Stop thinking that everyone else has control of your business, because they don't. Then look at your messaging. So do people think that this is going to be like some kind of a free call and nothing else? Then if that's the case, a lot of times what people make a huge mistake doing is, you've heard me say this a million times, Julie, is
Yeah.
stop putting calendar links on your website for people to just go on a call with you. You're just giving your precious time away from strangers who probably have no intention of investing in you. So get rid of that calendar and put an application link on your website to get on a call with you. You're going to get discovery calls, and you're going to get high level discovery calls, because people believe that it's not that easy to go on a Zoom call with you. They have to prove that they're ready for this 20-minute conversation that will build into more. So get that calendar off, put an application. You can use Typeform, you can use Google Forms, whatever you use. Put the link there, hook it up, so no one can take your time unless you said they could. Build a workflow to make that happen. So once people apply to work with you, then they can wait for your response. Don't respond right away. Even if it's exciting to see it come in, give it a few hours to a day. Respond back, yes or no, whether they should book the call with you. You're excited about hearing more about their business, blah blah blah. Then they'll book the call. But you should ask specific questions on your app, like, are you willing to invest in your business? If it's a no, then don't go on the call with them. Heartbreak is avoided because you asked the important question. Don't be afraid to ask that question. It's so important. If they say yes, then you already know, jumping onto that call, that they are ready to invest in their business, and all they really want to do is hear your ideas and your insight as to how they can grow with your methods. So I think that is why so many people are not booking clients, and it's so important to have that in place. So that's a huge tip for you right there.
That's so amazing and important. And I want to circle back, because when you were talking about all of this, we had to go back a little bit to our mindset, right? Like
Mhm.
our mindset of letting go and not having any attachment to the outcome, and just trusting that the right clients will come to us when they're ready, they're going to work with us. Now I have a question that maybe you can kind of tap into, maybe not. So I do have in my community some amazing female entrepreneurs who have product rather than a service. So how can we tie all of that, what we've talked about today, and tie into the ladies who sell a product, whether it be, like, I know Joan is on our call today. She's an amazing human being, and through her experience, she's also an amazing seamstress. And I know that one of my students is also a seamstress. And Joan actually, she makes these amazing stock. Wow, Joan, I can't even say it. Unmute yourself, Joan. Tell us what you have. Yeah, she's amazing.
I sell covers for prosthetics legs so that amputees can change their fashion style depending on what they're wearing or their mood. I'm first to market, so it's been a really tough go.
Wow,
Thank you,
that's
Joan,
amazing,
for sharing
Joan.
that.
I would like to talk to Joan, Julie. Joan, so what do you find is like your biggest struggle within sales? What's going on?
Reaching my market. Amputees, we don't know where they are. There's over 3 million amputees in North America. And the only way an amputee will buy something for their prosthetic device is through their prosthetist, which is their doctor. So they don't jump unless the doctor says go. Clinics were closed this year, so that was a bit of a struggle, but it's trying to get through to them that this is a $49 sock. Guaranteed fit, it just slips right over, but they're convinced that it has to be it's more technical. It's where it's a really simple product, and it changes the lives of people all over the world. I hear the same thing, but the struggle is they're just not purchasing. They're not purchasing.
Are they coming to your site and not purchasing, or not coming to your site at all?
The site was recently done. 6-7 month delay, and I just found out that no SEO was done. So we're just now, I handed it over to someone else who's doing my SEO, and I'm doing blogging every couple of days to get some Google ratings. But they know I'm here. I talk at support groups. I've been on TV, at different conferences. They're too afraid to buy it.
Why are they afraid to buy it?
Because they don't think they need it.
Well, so why do you believe they need it?
Which is, I wrote in my notes here, your ideal client is me. When I saw my first socket that had fiberglass on it, I'm like, that does not reflect who I am inside. How do we cover that? And so that's something that I need to realize, that I need the ideal client is not the 3 million amputees. People like me, but how do I reach them?
I would really sit down and do, just with a piece of paper and a pen, and do a brain dump of, if I would happen to stumble on my website and I was this person and I was like, I want this, but what are those buts? What are they like? Is it too expensive? Or maybe they just don't see the value in it. How can you get them to see the value? How will it change their life? That is the messaging that you need to use. How will this change my life? If I have this, how will my life be different? That's really all people are interested in. Whether that sock was $1,000 or $20, it doesn't matter. It's just a number. They need to know that their life is going to change. So you need to be speaking to that.
And that's the same when people buy it. They all tell me exactly the same story. Like, this product has changed their lives. The little girl in Australia was 6 years old, and the mom said the daughter couldn't wait to put her legs on. And that's the first time since she's a quad amputee, first time that her daughter said she couldn't wait to put her legs on. So I know this is a product, but I'm getting that message across.
So, and then if you think about that little girl, why did she not want to put her legs on? Why?
There's nothing special about them. Nothing
and
unique.
Just ask yourself why with all those things 5 times. Why didn't she want to put them on? Why does he not want to put them on? And just keep asking yourself over and over again, and just dig deeper and deeper. Like we have those vanity pain points. Like, I want to lose 30 pounds for my wedding. Why? Because I want to look good in my wedding dress. Why? Because if I look good in my wedding dress, then I'll feel better about myself. Why? And just keep digging, and just pour it all out, and then use those words, those deep words for messaging on your products, your blogs, Pinterest. Get that stuff on Pinterest, get it working for you, bringing traffic over from there onto your website. So you don't have to sit there and worry about every single day putting out content. We have to trust too that it will work once we set all those things up for us.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, like my website looks great, but the homepage doesn't say why.
And you need to have that as your big headliner. What's the biggest life-changing thing that could happen for them when they have this? Put that there. Yeah. That needs to be the first thing they see.
Yep. I got to change my tagline.
I hope that was helpful.
It was. I'm going to focus on this why.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
I think what's important to retain from that conversation is that our messaging is so important, right? When talking to that ideal client, whether you're offering a service or a product, you can still do all of these things and you can get them to buy using your messaging. Your messaging is so important. And that's why it's so important to go back to who is that ideal client, because now you know how to talk to that person and talk to them and fix their pain points, right?
Yeah.
Well, this was such an amazing call, Lindsay. I just want to say thank you. Are there any other last tips that you want to maybe share with us? I know we covered a lot, but was there any last words maybe?
I think that just as, like we talked about, that first question was, this person isn't working with me because of this. I think we should all just cut all those ties that are holding us back, pulling us into, I picture like a balloon. If we construct all of these ideas and beliefs about our business, we can never go where we have never been before. So we got to cut all of those strings and just let ourselves go where we're supposed to go. We're going to go somewhere awesome. And then just some tangible things that you can do is do that work, that why work. How will somebody's life change, and why would it change? And go and look at your website with fresh eyes and look at every single page, every single twist and turn in your website. Does this really speak to that why? If it doesn't, then you need to change your messaging. So when people get there, they're going to feel like you are reading their mind.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lindsay. And so if anybody's interested in learning more about Lindsay, where can we find you?
You can go to lindsaymaloney.com. I have tons of free resources for you to dive into. I have a lot of binge downloaders, so there's plenty in there. I have lots of master classes and free workbooks. You can go listen to my podcast. I have lots of free things. And if you want to go into my Facebook group, just go to dreamclientcommunity.com and I will say hi to you and welcome you with open arms.
And I will also, with the recording, I will share all of these resources for you guys too. But I agree, Lindsay is a wealth of knowledge, and she just shares so much of herself with us. And she's right. She has a ton of freebies and good ones too.
I could talk about it all day. Well, thank you. I could talk about it all day.
Yes. So I'm just looking, everybody, there was no real questions in here, just some comments, but I'm seeing that they were loving that why. So I'm grateful that Joan, you joined us today and we were able to have this conversation about not just services, but product too. And I just want to thank everybody for being here on Friday afternoon. And Lindsay, thank you so much for being here and doing this with me. I so appreciate it. And I know that our communities are going to love it. So thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. And have a great afternoon, guys.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You're welcome. You too.
Bye.
Bye.